My dear friends and mentors from Bulgaria, hello and welcome to my studio. I am really happy that you're going to start the Bulgarian journey of U.School. So what follows is a quick presentation that is to be delivered for the students wishing to apply to the entrepreneurship clubs in the following year. Without further ado, let's begin. My dear friends and students, I am privileged to be here among you today, especially because I am not a teacher and I don't want to be one. I know that for a lot of time you have been hearing something along the lines of behave, have good grades, finish your degree, because then you're gonna get a job. Well, alas, in many parts of the world, and this country as well, there is no guarantee for a fixed job if you have finished your school. I am not here to be bitching about the school and telling you that you should not study. On the contrary, I would like to take you on a journey into the future to try and predict what skills are going to be important and what is actually required to be a success story as this journey continues. We live in interesting times. I know that if we would ask our parents how they were living, and then if we would ask their parents, our grandparents, they would tell you pretty much the same story. However, if we move to our generation, we have these devices and many others. Technology created a fundamental change. Snapchat is completely normal for us, and the vast majority of jobs that we are wanting to achieve sometime in the future haven't really been invented yet. But let me phrase this in a very simple question for you guys. Please tell me, what year will you retire? This generation here, attending school at this very moment, unless something changes with the law, will retire in the year 2069. Now, let me ask you this. Do you have any clue how the world's gonna look like in 2069? When I remind you that 10 years ago, nobody had a clue that we'll need this, and that we're going to use this, and that this is going to be a fundamental shift in society. So how can we prepare for this uncertain future? What are we to do in order to really be successful? Is it still important just to learn a skill, learn a craft, and be good at it? Perhaps this is not enough. But at the same time as I'm being fearful about the future, I also have to say that this current society gives us so many opportunities that probably no other generation in history was able to have. Let me share a quick story. This is from my former high school, where I run my own entrepreneurship club. I'd like to introduce you to Giga, the guy at the back, who you can picture as this weird, crazy kid who would always go out partying, would always have slight confrontations with the principals and with the teachers, but a decent guy who mainly just wanted to be happy in life. And he came to me and said something to the effect of, you know what? I am only going to do things that are fun. If it's not fun, it's not for me. You can imagine how happy his mom was. But then Giga said something else. Giga said, the thing that makes me happiest, my passion, my hobby, is 9gag. 9gag is a website that is basically a shithole of the internet. There's no moderators, people post funny pictures, but everyone can pretty much post anything. So you can get a ton of weird stuff. Now, there's this funny thing about 9gag. 9gag has this rule. The front page is reserved for something like 10 of the best pictures, the pictures with the most likes on the website. And there are about, I don't know, dozens, hundreds of pictures posted every minute on it. So if you want to get on the homepage of 9gag, for that day, you need to get the most likes. And Giga decided that he's going to do just that. He is going to attempt to come on the homepage of 9gag with his creation. Mom wasn't really pleased. But he took it seriously. He took it so seriously that every day before he would go to bed, he would spend an hour to have a look at 9gag, to see all the postings, and then he would spend another hour to create something of his own. He would put it online, and then he would go to bed, and then he would wake up to have a look how many likes he got. He would continue doing this for 1 whole year. His rationale was, once I make it, once I reach the homepage, I'm going to be famous, I'm going to be popular, and I'm going to be rich. Crazy, right? Well, until one day he posts this. A shirt I made for myself. He basically took a stock photo of a green t-shirt, and then he opened Paintbrush and put a face of a famous basketball player, Yao Ming, on the front. He posts it online before he goes to bed, goes to sleep, wakes up, opens front page of 9gag, and this is the first posting. This picture got almost 40,000 likes. And his first reaction was, yes, now I can die happy. But then he starts reading the comments. And this was the first comment. Can you mass produce this? I will buy one. Me too, me 3, me 4. And there's a ton of these. Shut up and take my money. I threw all my money to the screen and I don't have it yet. I will buy 2. Please make more. What country are you in? Oh my God, sell it. I will pay everything. And there's like 5,000 of these comments waiting for him. So my question is, do we have a business? Well, yes, we do. So Giga calls me and he's like, oh my God, people want to buy this t-shirt. I don't even have a t-shirt. I only have a picture online. Help. So, long story short, Giga ends up coming to my office and he goes on this website called Shopify.com. Shopify is a platform that allows everyone to sell stuff online anywhere around the world. All you need is a picture of your product, a short description of it, a link to your PayPal account, and, well, the price. So, Giga creates the website. Giga creates the Shopify page. And the first thing he does is he decides that he's going to charge $25 for the shirt and another $5 for the shipping anywhere around the world. He puts it online, and then at the end of the day takes the link of the Shopify page and puts it right below the 9gag posting. Goes to sleep, wakes up, and then instead of checking 9gag, he opens the Shopify page to see if he got any orders. And the 16-year-old kid wakes up with 36,000 orders. Holy shit. Now, this is a very incredible story. Yes, making a youngster a millionaire just because he posted something stupid on 9gag. But in reality, this story is a perfect explanation of the world that we live in. Let me ask you a question. Was this luck? Was Giga lucky? Because honestly, my answer is no. I don't believe that luck was the key element in this story, because the most important thing that he did was that he decided to invest an incredible amount of time to really master a small niche. Giga simply became the biggest expert on 9gag in our country. And the way he did this was by actively engaging with the platform. Every single day he uploaded something. And he tried and attempted again and again and again. And even more importantly, during every attempt he learned an important lesson. Because not just attempting, but attempting in a smart way is important. Giga was able to get an information exactly how much likes he got for every single post. And I can tell you, if you can do whatever for a year, for 3 hours a day, you are going to become an expert in that topic. Now, the lucky part of this story is that Giga was born in today's day and age, when being surrounded with the internet, being able to communicate with people on the other side of the world actually allows you to take even the craziest, stupidest, smallest, obscurest niches and turning them into a source of income and allowing yourself to earn a living by doing what you love. This is the day in which we live in. And these are the opportunities that are available to us. And what's really important is Giga didn't really have to be a rocket scientist to achieve this. He didn't need rich parents to do this. He didn't need a PhD to attempt this. He only needed to try. And every single one of us can do the same. If we are aware what opportunities lie around us, and if we are aware that the world today is seeking for these weird, different, crazy ideas, I'm sure every single one of us can attempt to do the same. Now, the second thing I want to mention here is every single one of us, no matter what our backgrounds are, every single one of us has this one area, one topic, one thing in which they are among the best in the world. Just like Giga was one of the biggest experts on 9gag. I don't really believe that we live in a world where it is okay and enough just to learn for a profession. I think that's even dangerous. I think it's much less dangerous to avoid the serious traditional path, but actually dive into a topic of our choosing to find something that we like. I will always be reminded of a story of one of our students who was a big fan of Pokemon, and she knew everything about the topic. And she was also a bit of a seamstress. She would be creating costumes and stuff like that, and she would make these big hoodies that you could put on your head, and you would basically take the form of a Pokemon monster. And occasionally she would sell one or two of those on conventions, and then she created an Etsy site where she would offer these to the world. Her mom was always telling her, come on, do something serious. But she persevered. And then last year, a couple of months before, well, something really weird happened. This mobile app called Pokemon Go. And all of a sudden, there was an enormous amount of people who were absolutely, completely passionate about Pokemon. So passionate that when they wanted to really immerse themselves into the game, they wanted to have a Pokemon hoodie. And the girl actually started really making big money selling stuff on Etsy. So you might be thinking that we need to steer clear of the crazy ideas. But in fact, in today's day and age, it is the exact opposite. The crazier the idea, the more people are going to notice it. The more people are going to notice it, the easier it is to sell it, to market it? Well, so maybe we should simply try to learn to do this ourselves. Now, it's a bit difficult because this world is very weird. Nobody has a crystal ball. What's going to succeed? What's going to fail? And because of that, there is an important trick that I want to teach you at this very moment. And that is that you should not start with your idea, but instead you should do what a 21-year-old kid from Nevada did to create one of the biggest online companies in the world today. Let me tell you a story of Zappos.com, the second biggest website, online store in the world today. So picture this crazy student who, in his early 20s, had this idea. We live in the internet explosion. There's a lot of things going online. So let's start an online shoe selling company. It was a totally crazy idea because this happened in 1992, at the very beginning of the internet. And I know some of you, even here today, are not really confident in buying shoes because you don't know if they're going to fit. So instead of doing it online, you prefer to do it in a physical store. So what this guy did was probably a textbook example of how to actually start a company. Now, mind you, he wasn't really an expert computer programmer. He had no idea about the shoe business, and he had no money to start. So what he did was, basically, his first idea was, can I test to see if somebody would be willing to buy shoes online? So what he did was, he would go to Las Vegas, the biggest city in his vicinity, and he would go to the biggest shopping mall there and start taking pictures of the most amazing, the most expensive, the most crazy shoes you can find. He took 10 pictures of 10 shoes, noted the prices, and then he went back home and created a website called Zappos that basically had on display these exact 10 pictures with a price. And whenever somebody would buy shoes online from Zappos.com, he would physically drive to that store where he took the picture, purchase the shoe, and then he would package it and send it to the customer. Small and steady. And he started. No money needed. But nobody wanted to buy shoes. There were a lot of people having a look at the pictures, yes, because they were really pretty shoes, but no orders. So he asked why. And he started to talk to people who went online. He took their contacts and called them and emailed them. And then he realized that people were really reluctant to buy shoes because, well, they're not sure if they're going to fit. So based on that feedback, he made a small adjustment. What he ended up doing was he increased the price of the shoe, but then he wrote a small line of text underneath the order button. Every purchase you made on Zappos.com means that we will send you your shoe, one size smaller shoe, one size larger shoe, and a box with paid postage and an address on top where you can return the shoes that don't fit. So what ended up happening was that people didn't fear buying shoes anymore. And Zappos exploded. And when Zappos exploded, when people started massively ordering shoes because they could buy shoes that they couldn't get at home because they were nice, they started making revenues. And they invested that in slightly improving the website, and then in a small inventory, and then in a large warehouse, and then ultimately to a billion-dollar company that we know today. Again, there is no rocket science behind this, but I think, in fact, there are 3 key lessons that we can learn from this story, and those are: yes, think big. Have the crazy idea. But then, most importantly, start small. Take the big vision into something concrete, something viable, something tangible that you can do yourself. Every big idea can be changed into a smaller one, because you should be aware that if you can do it well in a small scale, it's going to be easy to expand. And the third, act now. Don't wait. Now is the time to do something special. Now is the time to gain these experiences. And that is exactly what I am here to invite you to do. What we're going to be doing this year in your school is a year-long business club in which we're going to help you first pick a passion, something that you're good at, something that you might even be the best at. And then we're going to turn that passion into an opportunity to be able to notice things that people want, and then to be able to turn those into concrete products. We're going to do our first product, and then we're going to turn that into our first sale. We're going to learn how to sell. And then after achieving our first sale, we are going to be thinking about how to form a company around that. What we want to do with you is very simply help you follow this process for the first time, from the beginning to the end, to the first euro that you're going to earn with your business. Because if you do that now, you'll be able to do it again later. And if you do that, you will be truly prepared for the future. Whether you want to be a business person or not, no matter really what you want to do, we can be clear that the future is uncertain. And only the people who are going to be resourceful enough to find opportunities on their own are ultimately going to make it. So I think you should try. You see, I am a firm optimist. I know that there's a lot of people saying there is a bad economy right now, there is a lot of corruption, people are leaving the country to go abroad, and there are all these limitations around us. But actually, I think that technological progress today still means that we live in a world of many and numerous opportunities, only if we are able to notice them. There are still, of course, I agree, two paths to success. There is that story that the teacher tells us, have a good grade and then you will get a safe government job. And I don't deny it. But I am saying this, if your dream job is something that a computer can do faster, or a Chinese person can do cheaper, then that job is not safe. Which means that it makes sense to see and look for new opportunities and to be creative, because I fundamentally believe that this is the only competitive advantage that we have. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite you to try this. There is no reason to fear failure. But on the other hand, there is a lot of opportunity to learn. If you want to sign up, here's how to do it. I hope to see you next year. And thank you, Professor, for giving me the time to present this story.